It's Chelsa Messenger with Picks and Parlays. We're talking NFL, Bengals, and Ravens. We've got a promo code for you guys. It's October if you want 15% off the entire site at picksandparlays.net. The Ravens are big favorites in this one once again, minus 13.5. The total is 51. The Ravens have won the last three in a row, but Cincinnati has covered in two of the last three meetings. It's always fun to handicap the divisional rivals. I think those games usually play a little bit closer, but the Bengals, I don't know if they're there yet with Joe Burrow. He definitely can move the ball, but the Ravens seem to be world beaters when it comes to playing against bad teams. Craig Trapp joining us now to talk this divisional matchup. Craig, who you got in this one?
Well, full disclosure, I'm from Cincinnati and a lifelong Bengals fan, but I've made probably more money betting against the Bengals in the last recent years than I have any other team. So I definitely kind of look at it even more carefully when it's my own team. And I think when you look at this AFC North, very competitive. Obviously, the Browns coming off a big win. The Ravens had a nice bounce back win after really looking poorly at Kansas City. And then Steelers, they were off, not expected to be off, but they were off, still undefeated. So very good AFC North. And the Bengals, if they score in overtime, they would be 2-2. So I do think the Bengals will keep this much closer than this line suggests. I think Joe Burrow, we've seen him three straight 300-yard passing games. And even with a questionable line here, I think Joe Burrow and the Bengals get it done. They have a good running attack too, with, of course, Mixon and Giovanni Bernard. I think these guys will be really, really good on offense. It's the Bengals defense that's the question, but I think they do just enough to keep this within the number. I do think they lose, but I do think it's much closer than that 13.5 points suggest.
Right, that's definitely a big number, especially when the Ravens only pushed against the Washington football team, which I would have liked to win there. But usually the Ravens are world beaters against terrible teams, but 13.5 is a big number to cover, especially as I mentioned, against divisional teams. I think these games normally play a little bit closer. And here's some stats for you. The Bengals 4-1 against the number in their last five against the Ravens. Bengals 5-1 against the number in Baltimore. So for that reason, I'm on the Bengals train as well. Backdoor Burrow, as some people like to call him. I think he's going to be ringing that doorbell. I don't know if I love that nickname or would I ever want to be called backdoor anything, but let's go Bengals here on this one. And I think the total of 51 is worth a look when it comes to the over as well. What do you think? Any leanings on the total?
Yeah, over for sure. This Bengals defense wasn't good last year. They're not much better this year. But the Bengals offense, they're helping out on overs this year. So I think the Bengals scored 26 is what I handicap in this one, and I think the Ravens will probably get 35. So I think this one goes well over that total. I think that's a strong play. But I think the better play for me is going to be on that side because I just think the Ravens, they're going to be up big and they're going to probably be up by, 17-10. And I think Joe Burrow and company go down and get that late score to make sure that we ensure we get the cover here.
Right. And one final stat, early games are 27-7-1 to the over. That means overs are hitting 79% of the time. That's via covers. So I don't know what to do with that stat just because you don't know which teams are playing, but that's absolutely crazy. And overs in general have been hot when it comes to the NFL. That's going to do it for our NFL talk here on Picks and Parlays. Good stuff from Craig Trapp. Craig, thanks for joining us.